Hello. Today I'm going to talk about Studiocart. Now, if you don't know what Studiocart is, Studiocart is essentially what I use instead of WooCommerce to take payment on my website, on my WordPress website. And it, for me, is part of my tech stack I use to replace a GHL. So if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, don't worry. This video is sort of part of another conversation I've been having with some clients and on this YouTube channel. So if you want to know what is a GHL, there's a video up there about that. If you're interested in hearing about what I use instead of a GHL, there's a video about that. And let's go. So Studiocart, I'll talk about in a little bit, is the tool I use instead of WooCommerce to take money on my WordPress website. It has very similar capacity. I would say if you're a product-based store and you have loads of products like a clothing store, or you sell flower essences, or you've got a heap of something physical that you want to send out and you want people to be able to add to cart, all these different products and then check out, then I'd say potentially Studiocart is not the best thing for you. There probably is still a way you can work around it. However, probably WooCommerce or something else is actually better for that. Studiocart is very similar to like Thrivecart or other tools like that, where you pretty much have one thing that's checking out, like you're just checking out one item, and you can have bumps and upsells and downsells and all the kinds of sells. But it's great for retreats, for online programs, for courses, for single sessions. Like, it's good for a lot of things. It'd even be good if you really just want to sell one product at a time, like, people just come and they get the book. And if you did want to sell multiple items, then you could have you can work around it. And now they have a postage option. So there are workarounds, but it's just not ideal. So let's have a look at a couple of things. I've got my screen share up, and let's just have a look at a couple of things. I was listening to a podcast about Studiocart. So this is Studiocart's own sales page. How I got onto Studiocart is I needed something that would integrate my course platform, WP Courseware, with MailerLite, which is my email marketing tool. And Studiocart does that. And there are not many tools that do that. When I was trying to do it with WooCommerce, it was so painful and it was too techy for me to figure out. I just didn't find it easy, whereas Studiocart made it so easy. And when I bought it, I got what's called a lifetime license. I think I may have bought it through AppSumo. A girlfriend told me about it and got me onto it. I bought a few licenses for myself and a couple of clients, and then she and I ended up buying a heap of lifetime licenses together, and I still have a few of those. So lifetime license just means that I don't need to have any of this ongoing payment, okay? Now, even if you do decide you want to not talk to me and you're going to get your own Studiocart license, which I love, I'm happy for you, even $200 a year is still, like, for the amount of functionality you get, I think is still a really decent deal. And just because of how reliable I find this tool, I just find it phenomenal. The support is really good, whereas WooCommerce, the support is just so rubbish. There is a free version that you could check out, and the integrations list is massive. They also have templates, which I love, and I've been using their templates, and they have templates for Elementor, Divi, all these different kinds. So this works for me because I have Divi. So this means I have all these great, like, checkout pages, lead magnet pages, sales pages, and these really help me to, like, make my page look gorgeous and also remind me, like, what a sales page should have on it. Or, like, if I'm looking at a lead magnet page, we need the sign up form, we want to have some features, I want to introduce myself, and that's kind of all I need for a lead magnet page. So I love the templates. Yep, I've used the documents and the guides a whole bunch, and yeah, overall I just think it's a really solid product that I love. At my end, when I come into my dashboard and I look at Studiocart, I've never used collections, and maybe this is something I could do to kind of work around that thing of selling multiple products at a time. Upgrade paths, literally have not used these at all. The things I use are products. I have a heap of them. I'm often looking at my orders, which we won't dwell on because that has people's email addresses. I don't really go into much else at all, actually. And I guess I possibly could. I mean, I'll often go into my reports and just have a look. And look, affiliation. Maybe this is something I should get onto. That looks fun. So yeah, basically, mostly I work in products, and let's say we're going to create a new product. There's sort of two ways we can use Studiocart as a product. And in fact, I should have talked about that a little bit before I start making a new product. Let's talk about that. I can create a product, and that product has its own page. So this is the product page. And this is one I haven't optimized. And the reason I haven't made it look beautiful at all is because I can get this short code here and I can copy that and I can put that onto any website page. So I've designed the page, made it look beautiful the way I want. And then I can put this short code on and it will let me have a product on a page. And the other thing I can do is I can go to a page. So in Divi, I can go into a page and say on this home page, I'm in my visual builder and I want to just add a product onto this page. There is a module for it. So when she's having a moment loading. When I want to add a product, say I'm going to put a product here, it is an option, the Studiocart order form. And I love this. I love having, I can choose, it's got all my products listed here. I can just choose this and then I can customize all the things. Like I can customize my button, which I'm obsessed with. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with customizing buttons, but here it is. This has a bump on it. And yep, all my data comes through from my Studiocart product. So I can basically put any product seamlessly onto my website page wherever I want it, either through the short code or through this method I just showed you by using a module. To use the short code, I'm going to click add a module and I'm going to say code. Then I would come in and grab that code, copy and paste it in here. And then it's going to appear in my website page. The main difference I've noticed with the short code is I can't really control the button view. That has to get done from the product spot. And I do prefer using the module now as opposed to the short code. So that's how we get a product onto an existing website. Otherwise, yeah, we do have this option where I'm trying to think of one of these that looks nice. This one. So this is a product that I have tried to beautify a little bit. I've got a description. I've got some pictures. And yeah, this is a product page. This is another way you can deal with it, where you don't have to make a whole separate page. Like say, for instance, what have I got in this one? This is a product page that I've used. This has got the Studiocart product here, and this is where people check out. So this is using one of the Studiocart templates that I think is so beautiful. So there's the two ways, either the product page or you make your own page and you put the Studiocart product onto it. Obviously, I'm a fan of this, but sometimes I'm just feeling low key and I just want to pump out a product really quick. So say we're going to make a product. I'm not going to go into this in too much depth because I have a whole course about Studiocart. If you want to know more about Studiocart, tell me what your questions are and I'll make a specific video because this does take quite a while. Putting the plugin on, setting up all of your payment settings. I have to go into settings and go and set up all your payment methods and all your integrations, and everything has to happen. So it's quite an involved process. But if we're just looking at setting up a product, I'm going to say demo product. Then payment plans is where you set up the cost of your item. And you can also have recurring payments. You can do it as a pay what you want or free, which I think is so fun. Then you have to choose, I don't use payment restrictions. Then you've got to choose how you're taking the money. You can come in and customize the form. So I usually get rid of company name. If any of these you don't want them, you can just disable them. And you can add custom fields. So when I'm doing a retreat, like bop, 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 bop. No, it didn't happen. I apologize. When I'm doing a product like the immersion, I have a lot more form fields because I want to know, do people have food requirements? Is there anything else they need to tell me? I can have drop down options like this so people can choose. And that all happens in this form field space. So basically, I just work through all of these. Coupons, yes, you can create a coupon. Order bumps, sometimes I'll have an order bump, and you have to remember to toggle enable order bump, and then often I'll have to save and then refresh this so that I publish, I wait a minute, and then sometimes I find I also have to refresh the page. And then we should start to see the options for the order bump. Here they are. So I can bump any of these on, and that's pretty fun. Confirmation is what happens once someone has purchased. Notifications, I love to use this to send myself an email when people have purchased. And integrations is where we get to choose, like, people can create themselves as a user. I might want to add them to an email list. I might want to give them access to a course. And that's pretty much all I use in there. This is where we would write our words. I'm not even going to worry about spelling. And I could put an image if I want, and I usually just use the standard WordPress editing tool, because this, it doesn't really let me do list view. It's just a bit basic. For me, this is a bit basic and not ugly, but it's just like not super sexy enough. For me, this is super sexy. This is my preference, where I create a page and I bring it in as a module. So, you know, I don't really worry too much about it if I'm going with the product version. Then I'd click save, and I'm going to go and have a look at my product, because of course I never see my mistakes until I look at it here. And this is not displaying because I haven't really finished the process. This is my order bump, and I haven't customized my order bump properly. So it can be relatively quick to create a product in Studiocart. It does need a bit of setup, just like any tool, and it will need a little bit of getting used to. But let's just look at an example of a client who I've recently set up, and she's done an amazing job. Her name's Karen Humphreys. And we got her off WooCommerce because it was just being absurd. We've created a shop page for her, and she's got categories, which is awesome. These are coming soon, but you know, we can go and look, and we go, each product has its own product page, and then we've got the Studiocart product embedded there. So it's definitely gorgeous. I think it's a great option. Another person, I think, is Bridget Avgustakis, Bridget's Astrology. She also uses Studiocart. I'm just trying to remember what she's got set up. So let's see, the 6-week life reset. You can link down here, and then here's our checkout. She's an astrologer, so she likes to get people's birth data when they join up with her, and she's got payment plans going for this. I love offering people payment plans, and she's got a bump so people can add on a one-on-one session. So there's a lot of really cool functionality. There's a lot of customization possible. Like I said, it's so reliable, and anytime I've had a problem, the support have been so responsive. So just compared to WooCommerce, for me, a lot of ticking of the boxes. Highly recommended. Let me know. Just let me know in the comments if you need a hand, if you want access to it through my lifetime license. Don't have many of them left. Yeah, hit me up. if you want a hand with it. Otherwise, go well. I think you'll enjoy it if you decide to go ahead on your own. And let me know what questions you have about GHLs, e-commerce, websites, all of that stuff. Let me know if you've got more questions about Studiocart I can answer for you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.